once again, they go to Johnson. This time, Tuck is able to get it behind the line for a loss of a yard. It's not too late, by the way, to play NFL.com fantasy. 3rd and 4. Big play here for the Raiders defense. And Smith's in trouble and falls out.
He got it back, I think.
Andre Johnson right here in the slot. Fitzpatrick with time, passes deflected and incomplete. Khalil Mack got a hand on that one, the rookie out of Buffalo. And the Texans are going to have some decisions at the end of the year, too, and they could be all good decisions. Mallett's a free agent as Ronnie Brown runs on 3rd down. But don't forget, they also drafted Tom Savage in the 4th round out of Pittsburgh, and they're high on him.
Brady has 13 completions, and 7 of them are to Edelman.
Need to get him going here in the 2nd half.
It's a 1st and 10. No place to run, no place to hide. Rodgers was there with the stop along with Mack, and it's a loss of a yard.
On the 44. And on the end around, John Brown. And the Raiders are there, and there's going to be a loss on the play. Good play by Khalil Mack, the #1 draft pick from Buffalo.
A lot of good can happen, especially when these refs continue to keep calling penalties versus the defense.
On 2nd down and 1. And here is Taylor, but he's going to be knocked back for a loss of a yard. Khalil Mack. Floyd going in motion toward the line. And here is Taylor, and he'll lose a yard. Khalil Mack, who's played a fine game there.
What the date is. 1st and 10. Hoyer and this offense back onto the field. Tate met by a silver and black wall. And as quickly as we can. 1st and goal time. Browns trying to add to the 6-0 lead. West wrapped up, and they continue to struggle with that ground game. Khalil Mack. Only a game out of 1st place entering today in the AFC North. Pitch play. West going backwards.
It's Lynch to go out through, trying to throw a block, and he was brought down nicely by Mack.
2nd and 1, and Juwan Thompson with a 1st down, and the ball came out, but it's covered by Denver. That Rex Ryan.
That started this 3-game slide. 36. Rivers going through his progressions. They get him from the back. Khalil Mack, the stud rookie. Rivers never saw him. 2nd time they have gotten to Rivers today, and he looks like he's shaken up again. Chargers went 4-3 in his absence. 2nd and 3. Matthews brought down right around the line of scrimmage. They need to get to the 43 for the 1st down. And it looks like Oakland now, Solomon, will start to use their timeouts. They'll burn one here.
Kaepernick goes down again. Khalil Mack again.
About how they were going to approach the end of the season, and I'm telling you, this was a dud.
And that's the kind of day it has been for Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers. And that's the way it's looked for the Raiders. The loss put in the books here for the 49ers. Seattle winning, so we've yet to tabulate their 9th victory.
Charles kind of limps off the field. Aggravated both knee and ankle injuries in that loss to Arizona last week. Here's Niall Davis giving him a blow. Davis going nowhere. Khalil Mack.
And now to come out and lose a game like this within the division, it throws everything back into an unbalanced situation.
3rd down pass from Daniel is deflected, intended for Thomas.
Middle as well. C.J. Spiller, the running back, trying to get him involved, and he's been bottled up every time. Khalil Mack and Miles Burris. And Orton looked like he was trying to make a run at Watkins, but had it deflected. 6. Buffalo's converted just 1 of their last 8. And Orton and Khalil Mack again.
1st and 10. Play action from Flacco, set up nicely by what he did in the 1st half. Here is Smith, where the degree of difficulty on some of these even intermediary throws has been very high.
Johnson takes it on 1st and 10, and he is dropped as soon as he touches it. Khalil Mack.
Amari Cooper was ready coming out of Alabama. Biletnikoff Award winner. Khalil Mack drops Josh McCown. Well, Khalil Mack, of course, is a really good player, but when you have him one-on-one with your fullback, that is the issue. Malcolm. McCown fumbles the football on top. Mack Daddy, Khalil Mack, once again.
For Jay Cutler, what coverage they're going to be in when you move the forte from outside the end.
Cutler got hit from behind as he pulled up at the 25 by Khalil Mack. Manning to far side, and that one is wrapping up Emmanuel Sanders behind the line of scrimmage.
This is Ivory. Khalil Mack comes through, knocks him down. It's a loss of 3 on the play, back to the 20-yard line. After the 3 and out by the Raiders, here comes a 1st and 10 from the 35 for Geno Smith. It's Ivory with no place to run, no place to hide. Brought down initially by Stacy McGee and a loss of a yard, back to the 34. Mack is chasing.
Throw it away.
Oh, Mack gets him. Back near the 11.
6 defensive backs on 3rd down. And he goes down. Getting the sack was Mack.
On 3rd and 9, Mariota with time, running out of time, and he goes down. Back at the 37-yard line, Khalil Mack. From the 18. Under pressure, and he goes down at about the 25-yard line, and that's Khalil Mack once again. 9 quarterback help to the sideline. 3rd and 4. Smith dragged down. Smith going down again at the 23. Khalil Mack and Ben Heaney, the rookie, in on it. Smith pulls it down and goes down at their own 20-yard line. And Charkandrick West wrapped up in a loss of about 5, lost the football and covered it again. Malcolm Smith with the tackle. Meanwhile,
For the Chiefs' sake, be able to pick the yardage up necessary after the catch.
that screen goes nowhere. The ball is loose and out of bounds.
On 3rd down.
Osweiler is dumped. Back at the 15, Khalil Mack.
Well, Gary Kubiak said that Brock has really handled the team extremely well. They try to play to his strengths. Hillman gets met by Mack. Emmanuel Sanders lines up in the backfield.
Trying to get to Osweiler. Osweiler loses the football. A scrum for it in the end zone.
Safety.
It is a safety.
Oakland electing to go for 2.
Osweiler. Devoured.
Dexter McDonald, a rookie from Kansas, 7th-round pick, is now in.
Look out, Osweiler. Major heat from Oakland.
Minute 56 to play. They trail 15-12. Osweiler in trouble.
Osweiler brought down.
Rodgers moving around in the pocket, and he goes down. It's Khalil Mack.
Ball tapped around, incomplete. And it did touch the hands of Mack.
It's on this team.
Run it inside, nowhere to go. Good play. Khalil Mack was there and just a couple push-ups to celebrate. The 4th quarter in their game. New center is Zach Fulton, number 73, because Mitch Morse came off with an injury. Meanwhile, West is in trouble, and he is going to go nowhere.
Kevin, we talked about the fight Andy Reid wanted from his
3 games at left guard. We haven't seen him today. It's been Jensen, the 4th Raven holding penalty of the day. Again, pressure, and there it is, the first sack of the season for Khalil Mack.
Receiver, Benjamin by himself to the near side. And the handoff goes to Gordon, who is tracked down from behind.
and they've had a pretty good offensive day up until that last couple of drives.
That's Edmond in motion. Here's Gordon. And Gordon is stopped by Khalil Mack.
At the top of your screen, Hill, 2nd and 10. Whoops. Brought down on the play. There is Khalil Mack. First sack today, 2nd sack of the season.
Adjusted to a 42-yard game. 1st and goal. Ivory again. And looks like Ivory's going to lose a yard on this play back to the 9. Need a first down. Here comes the blitz. And he goes down at the 5. And that is Khalil Mack.
Getting that left tackle, Donovan Smith, on his heel. Wipes out a 19-yard run. 3rd and 14. Winston again on the run. And he's just going to keep it. And he's down at the 34-yard line.
NFL right now, red zone defense.
Winston in trouble, and he is sacked. Khalil Mack with his 4th sack of the season. For 3 catches for 45 yards. Play action on 1st and 10. Winston in trouble, and Winston is spun down. 2nd sack today for Khalil Mack. Period. It's Smith again. And Smith with the ball coming out. Raiders saying they have it. No signal yet.
From the 30.
Look out.
And smothered by Khalil Mack. Well, sooner or later. Simeon pressured. Lost the ball. At the 39-yard line. Big scramble for it. Bruce Irvin created it.
And I had it at one point. Watch a little fake spin move right there by Bruce Irvin, and just too much. Brocoon. There you have former Seahawks going at it head-to-head.
Go to the Wildcat.
Oh, boy.
Braxton Miller. Might have it depending on where they mark it.
Don't want to run that at Khalil Mack.
Play clock running out. Osweiler under duress and sacked by Khalil Mack. They renew their acquaintance on the final play of the first half.
2nd and 5. Raiders using no timeouts have really changed the situation here. Intercepted! Mack for the touchdown! Here he comes on the outside. Sees the screen, pulls off. Trying to throw it to Fozzie Whitaker. Boy, that's a great jump into the end zone. But what a play. Cam Newton never thought that he could reach up there and make that play.
59, they're going to go for it. 4th and 10. Game on the line. Newton in trouble, and the Raiders end it. It was Mack with the strip sack.
Khalil Mack on this side. Here he comes. Just overpowered Trey Turner.
This is very similar to what we saw not that far from here in Super Bowl.
And then elected not to throw the red flag. So it is a first down for Buffalo. Give it to McCoy. Blown up in the backfield by Mack. Raiders lead by 14. Gillislee now in. 13th play of the drive. Taylor feeling the pressure. Oh, the ball gets knocked away. Khalil Mack. He is a one-man wrecking crew on defense.
Picked off, leading to a field goal, and now from the 24-yard line. Look out from behind. The ball comes loose. It's taken by Khalil Mack. It's on the ground at the 18-yard line.
We're set.
Look at Khalil Mack all over him. Loss of 1. And more on the Kubiak story. Tracy?
Raiders being put in situations.
3rd and 1.
Oh, they got the stop.
Yeah, that was big for the Raiders to make a play. You see Brandon Trawick, number 41. Simeon giving it to Forsett. And that's Mack. Twisting down the ball carrier. Has been banged up here late in the season. They go. Penn go out. Sibley getting treatment. Forsett.
Went well for a long time.
Former Cincinnati Bengal 10-year veteran Lamar Miller taken down for a loss. Khalil Mack.
There he shifts over to the left side. 2nd and 6. The give to Murray. And great piece of tackling that time by Khalil Mack. And the Titans start at the 20, but could have been a call against the Raiders as well, as Murray is met by Mack, who's got a 2nd tackle here in the quarter for a loss.
For any edge that he could find to win games. Take the handoff to Forte. McCown is devoured.
Guess who? Khalil Mack.
The Mack attack.
Raiders 4 guys up along the line. And look out, and Cousins is going to go down. And that's Mack, the defensive player of the year. Beats Moses, the right tackle, for the sack to make it 4th and 13.
Here you see his home record against the division. 3 and 1. And again, the Raider defense steps up, makes the play. That's T.J. Carey. And a loss of 1 since Lester Hayes, 1980. First down, Denver. And Simeon is taken down by Mack.
I think it was Mack.
Able to walk off the field. He's rolled up on 2nd and 11. Trying to get set, but doesn't have that chance.
He does
the
get
ball
loose.
is out. And is picked up by the Raiders. It's Edwards with the football. And he takes several Broncos with him.
On 2nd and goal, Flacco rolling, throwing, and complete. And being hit almost immediately was the tight end Benjamin Watson.
Low snap. Scooped up by Smith and decked right on the spot. 3rd and 5. Pressure, and they got him back at the 28. Autry along with Mack from the 28. Brady gets away from the pressure the first time, but not the second. And Mack gets to him.
Kevin in their 2-minute no-huddle offense. Then it's Paxton Lynch.
1st and 10. Bulls holding off his guy. And here comes Mack, and he goes right around Barber.
Throw it away.
Khalil Mack and the sack back to the 40.
From the Raiders' 4-yard line. Smith hit. Down he goes. Khalil Mack. Raiders recover. Abused. Then you get Khalil Mack. You're getting abused again. Again, soft edge. Geno Smith having to hold on to the football, and that is a nice takeaway. I love defenders that are ball aware when the ball's coming, when he's sacking the quarterback, and that is a fumble. You could make the argument that maybe Geno's rear end was on the ground, but that ball's in Khalil Mack's stomach before that. How about his left knee?
2nd and goal from the 8. Here comes Mack. Khalil Mack has had a sack now for a 4th consecutive game.
Oh, yeah. A few people will be. From the 14-yard line. Prescott under pressure, and he's going to go down to the 9-yard line. Khalil Mack. 9.5 sacks now for him, and that's sacks in 5 straight games.
Beat as many people as possible. That's taking action, and that's getting something done. That's awesome.
2nd and 8, and Prescott's going to get taken down to the 24-yard line, trying to escape, and Khalil Mack has his 2nd sack of the night.
For Ken Wisenhunt, it's easy to call plays when Rivers is playing this well.
It's Gordon on 2nd down and 4.
4 wide here on 3rd and goal. Again, the pump fake, and this time he will get sacked, lose the ball, and Mack took the ball away. Khalil Mack already paying.
What do you have to do? You have to help. So they give him some help. And then he comes in. He jams the receiver. He comes in, gets rid of the tackle blocker, takes the football, makes a little withdrawal on the check that he was given by the Chicago Bears. Welcome to Chicago. These are the kind of plays that we have seen from Khalil Mack year after year.
50 seconds, 3rd and 19. And this time he's going to go down. It's going to be picked off by Mack. Mack with the interception. And Mack will take it all the way in for a touchdown. How crazy was that? Robertson Harris extracted the ball 28 yards, and Khalil Mack is already the defensive MVP of the season. Second career touchdown for Khalil Mack.
My second choice is Roy Robertson Harris. I was watching him today, and it is amazing how many times, for the percentage of plays he was in the game last year, he impacted the quarterback. Here's a screen pass.
3rd and 17. Mack strips it. He is unbelievable. Khalil Mack strips it down. Seattle recovers, but if there's a quarterback with the ball, he's going to find him this year.
3rd down and 8 for Bradford and the Cardinals. And Bradford is going to lose yardage. That's not a good sign. Khalil Mack gets to him, and Mack with his 3rd sack of the season and a loss of 7 yards. That was the last thing in the scenario that the Cardinals wanted.
Well, they're right here, and they're sliding out here to Khalil Mack, battling for his football team. I love the passion.
So grateful that he could play again after those knee problems, and they were big. 2nd down and 8, stumbles forward and loses the ball. Bears have it. Khalil Mack forces the fumble, and Bradford turns it over. The Cardinals. And now Steve Wilkes is claiming that Bradford was down when he lost the ball. We're going to check that out.
And they're coming after him this time. And the ball is loose. Jaquiz Rodgers able to pick it up. But a big hit by who else? Number 52.
Yeah, believe the side, leverage, and he can run that hula hoop, turn that tight corner, and causes a fumble and a sack.
Play action, and Winston had the ball tipped as he threw it, and it's going to be intercepted. This is Danny Trevathan, still on his feet, and Chicago forcing the turnover.
Lions take over. Stafford on 1st down, goes down inside the 20-yard line. But not today. Stafford is sacked again. And it's Mack on the attack.
Short, quick throws.
9th play of this drive, and the ball is out. Cook lost it. Bears think they have it. Waiting for the signal. They do. You can see the officials say Chicago ball. That good-looking drive. Ball is out. Khalil Mack caused it. Chicago ball.
Take over the head coaching duty.
3rd and 9. Blitz coming. Cousins is hit as he throws. And then it's Mack again, wrecking the play. Under pressure again. Can he get away? No, he can't. Of course it's Mack.
Haven't seen you for at least 30 seconds.
Tom Compton wanted to get the license plate on that truck going by.
Pressure, man. Trouble, he's sacked! And that may have taken him out of field goal range. It was Khalil Mack.
The one thing you cannot...
Not done that, and it's really hurt this offense.
Early 6 carries for 6 yards. Goff under pressure. The ball comes out. The ball is loose. Still loose. It was Khalil Mack who came in, and the Rams have recovered at the 20-yard line. Man.
Pressure on Rodgers. He's going down. And that's where Khalil Mack is.
Doesn't have the time to get back outside. You needed to honor those.
Rodgers on 3rd and 10. He is smothered. Give Mack and Bilal Nichols, the rookie, credit. Don't worry about it. It's about winning the game. Rodgers is going to get the sack inside the 20. And it's Khalil Mack.
Well, during the course of the game, they've done a good job locating Khalil Mack, kind of helping him out when there's an opportunity. But at some point, you're tackling.
Second down and 2. And Wilson able to break a couple of tackles, but I think he's still short of a first down.
Opening drive, 7th play from the 20-yard line. Going to draw again, this time Sproles to the outside, and Mack is right there to say no, sir. And let's take a look at that Bear defense.
Your defense is playing so great, you don't want a big mistake here.
And there won't be a big mistake here.
And did catch it. Touchdown throw. Play action for Flacco getting the pass rush, and down he goes, and it's Khalil Mack with the sack.
You can tell both coaches are trying to get their quarterbacks in rhythm with no huddle.
2nd down and 8. Play action for Keenum, and he's taken down. Ball came out at the end. Khalil Mack.
Chicago looks to be in a pressure front.
There's Keenum trying to step up into that pocket. Ball came out, and it is recovered by the Bears. That looked like Trevathan coming out with it. There it is.
The ruling on the field. Hold on.
Yeah, number 20 here, Prince Amukamara. You're going to have a game inside. He's here. He's coming around. Nice pressure from the Bears up front, but the penalty is going to be on number 20, Prince Amukamara.
So 6 penalties against Washington already. Ball is out. And there's a fight for it, and it looks like Akeem Hicks has it. That was Khalil Mack being a disruptor again.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
Part of being a great defense is go after the football. You don't have to get the quarterback down. Watch the right hand of Khalil Mack. Go after the ball. That's a sack, caused fumble, and this Bears defense, I think they're the best in football.
Cook, 8 carries, 15 yards in the first half. Cousins loses the football. Strip sack and a takeaway by Chicago. Who else but Khalil Mack?
Left tackle against Mack, and he gets low and under, and then the acceleration to the quarterback. I mean, that's the bend right there. And, Cousins has had trouble holding on to that football. And Mack is, if you have trouble holding on to the football, Mack is going to, at some point, make a throw down the field, probably in the middle of the field on this one.
His Cousins standing in the pocket. Mack got to him. And another marker down as they sack Cousins for a second time.
I mean, look at the effort. Boom, push, bull rush, back into, and I'm going to continue to bull rush. I mean, if you're a fan of defensive line.
180. And the ball gets loose, and Jacobs is going to try to get to it, and the scrum is on. Bears get it.
You've got the bad pitch from Carr to Jacobs right here. It just gets by. Don't try to scoop this with one hand. Just jump on it.
So the Bears go 11 plays, 70 yards in 6.5 minutes and come away empty on the missed field goal by Pinheiro. And then he missed all of last year with a knee injury. He's out of there. And lucky that one wasn't intercepted. Khalil Mack in a 1-point game. And Rivers going to throw it on first down. And he is sacked all the way back at the 11-yard line.
2nd down and 10. And here is Jordan Howard. And Tell you what, this is an inspired Bears defense. Right from here, it would be a 61-yard field goal for Jake Elliott. And here is Jordan Howard going to the right, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. Khalil Mack.
Giants and the Bears have met 6 times in an NFL championship game. Bears 1 for the 6, and the ball is loose. And the Bears have recovered it. Stripped out of there by Khalil Mack.
He's going to have a great jump right here and just beats him off the ball, gets extension. And look at that big club come around, and that's the 14th fumble, 10th loss for Daniel Jones. It's a great play by Mack, the ability to close and to go after and attack that football with that club.
That is a 10th loss fumble this year by Daniel Jones.
3rd down and 3. Prescott chased by Khalil Mack. He got him.
Take some pressure off of him.
Line up with 5 receivers here. Mahomes under pressure, and he will go down. Khalil Mack gets the sack. Not much new there. Leads the team in sacks, but he's only had 3 in the last 10 games. Picks up.
3rd and 6 now for New York. Opening drive for the Giants. Jones pump fake. Jones in trouble, and Jones is sacked. And the Bears have the football. Robert Quinn, the newest Bear, gets in there.
Left side of your screen, Mack with a bull rush in tandem with Akeem Hicks. Daniel Jones trying to hold on to the football and then trying to throw it. Does it get ripped from the back? It does, and that's Robert Quinn, their new acquisition. Picked him up from Dallas. He did not play in the season opener in Detroit. Already paying dividends here in the early going, knocking it free from Daniel Jones.
An ankle injury for Quinn. Deion Lewis, single setback. Jones, he is tossed down by Khalil Mack. Jones didn't have a chance.
There's Mack, and he's working against the...
3rd and goal for Atlanta. Ryan hit from behind. Down he goes.
The one that they can put in there and run routes like a wide receiver.
This is Hines, and Hines can't break away this time. And Khalil Mack is there for the stop as time winds down.
And did a heck of a job protection. They got the running game going, 100 yards rushing for Ronald Jones. That's a great start.
Brady is taken down. Khalil Mack. After the longest run of the season against this Bears defense, Khalil Mack steps up and gets a sack.
Panthers start from their 10-yard line. No McCaffrey, 4th straight game as Davis is bottled up. As we begin the 2nd quarter, Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, Shannon Spake. Bridgewater on 3rd down, in trouble. Down he goes. Sacked back at the 12-yard line. Khalil Mack playing in his 100th NFL game.
It's still 10-3 here. 3rd and 2. Goff has pressure from Mack. That football came out. That's a live football. And the Rams rally to that football. I think Austin Corbett, the guard, might have come up with that. But Khalil Mack able to get... Malcolm Brown. Loss on the play. Khalil.
Here's a handoff to Murray, and there's Mack in on the stop with Urban.
Definitely a guy who can do some things at that tight end position with the speed that he possesses.
On 1st down, Breeze, ball comes out, and Breeze able to get back on top of it. A flag is down. But they're saying that happened at the same time that Drew Brees lost the football.
Last year, when you're not getting any help from your offense, eventually you just break.
Here is Kamara, well played up front. Penetration by Khalil.
Keep waiting for this. Well,
here's a toss to Kamara, and he does not get it. What a job by the Chicago defense and Roquan Smith.
1st and 10 from the 28. Cousins fires. Thielen and intercepted. It's Khalil Mack the other way for Chicago. And Cousins has to run him out of bounds. Khalil Mack, who had missed on just one attempt. Cousins 14 of 15. And he throws the interception there.
So you're just going to see Khalil Mack drop out in coverage. He takes a nice, typical linebacker drop.
Gotta go. It is 2nd down and 5. Duke Johnson, and stuck right there by Mack, who tears the ball away. That's a fumble, and it's Chicago's ball. At the 40-yard line, Khalil Mack with a big-time play right there, his 3rd forced fumble of the season.
And Kevin, in the open, we talked about Khalil Mack had to be a factor. He hasn't been around the last 4 games, or hasn't been as big of a factor the last 4 games. That time into the backfield, making contact, and then just stripping and tugging at the football.
Gotta go. It is 2nd down and 5. Duke Johnson, and stuck right there by Mack, who tears the ball away. That's a fumble, and it's Chicago's ball.
Lady, set.
Coming through again, they got him, and it's Mack with a safety. Big time hit. Khalil Mack comes up with his first sack in 5 games. Another dance for the Bears D. Boy, are they putting their hands around the throat of the Texans on both offense and defense.
Well, and this is now going to be the 2nd week in a row that Deshaun Watson gets sacked in the end zone for a safety.
They tend to get Khalil Mack in one-on-one matchups, and that's what they like.
Cousins is sacked. He had a moment, but he didn't get rid of it, and in came the Bears.
They'll keep it on the ground, try to come towards us, and losing yardage.
Can they force a punt right here in this series?
And for pressure on Rodgers, they get it, and he is sacked. The first sack they've had in 2 games against them, and Mack was there. Mingo helped as well.
If you're Chicago.
Here's a 2nd and 10. And to give to Harris, and that's blown up.
It's hard to get pressure when you got 3 guys standing there and a tackle's there as well.
There he is. There's Mack. Let's add to that stat line the tackle for a loss.
Pocket collapsing again, and there's the sack for Khalil Mack, his 1st of the year.
And that's what they're looking for him to do. Watch Khalil Mack off the edge here. I mean, these 2 guys off the edge, Hicks and Khalil Mack, that is a tough day.
Mayfield rolling in deep trouble. Here comes Khalil Mack, and another sack for the Bears on 4th down. Quinn got 1, Mack's got 1.
You see those guys when the defense redirects, they kind of just grab and pull them.
So 2nd and long, pressure coming. Mayfield stays up, and now he's sacked. He almost got away from that one, but Mack, who's back in the game, brought him down. He had some help from Quinn.
Robert Quinn, I know last year he kind of came under some pressure. Watch him how fast he gets around the edge here. He gets the initial pressure. He just runs that hoop.
We love to run out routes here.
Here's Goff. Steps into it. Flag on the play.
Man coverage.
Goff. Can he recognize?
Goff hit. Loose. Picked up. Mack flips it. Jackson. Oh my goodness. The Lions self-inflicted wounds again. And the Bears turn him away. Khalil Mack drop. Khalil Mack. Goff in trouble, and Goff goes down. Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack, the heartbeat of this defense. He always make plays when it counts.
1:42 to go in this first half. 2nd down and 6. Carr, pocket collapses, slam down. Khalil Mack. The revenge game for Mack.
So the end and the tackle play a little game here. Watch in.
On 3rd and 10, Bears getting home with Khalil Mack, who has come to life again for Chicago. And they get their first sack of the day, knocking them back to the 45.
Got it.
Just a nice up and under move.
1st and goal at the 4. Jacobs in the backfield. The pitch. Morrow, the block, and down he goes. Redwell hit on the play. Mack was over there. They lose a yard. 5 in the secondary. Carr, Illuminor, the block, and then they get by him, and down he goes. Mack and a flag. And against his old team, he brings down the Raider quarterback.
Watch the power move by Mack against Illuminor on the outside. It's just a bull rush.
With 3 timeouts from their own 28 after the defense just held the Charger offense on a 4th and 1. Carr takes over. Bolden in the backfield. Illuminor the block. And Carr. Here they come, and down he goes. Abdullah is the back. Into 6 defensive backs. 4th and 8. Pocket crumbling. Knocked away. Khalil Mack. Chargers have it. Khalil Mack comes up with his 3rd sack today in his Charger debut against his former team, the Raiders. And on downs, it goes back to the Chargers.
Well, Derek Carr came out and he was trying to keep an eye on where Devontae Adams was. And then as the pocket collapsed around me, tried sliding up. You see Mack reach out with that left arm.
2nd down and 7. Chargers blitz, and they get him right up the middle. Drew Tranquil, number 49, and Khalil Mack is there as well.
Burkhead and Hairston, the big bodies in the backfield. On the rollout, Mills swallowed up by Khalil Mack, and they'll take over on downs.
180 inside. Chubb. Can't bounce this time. Lost yardage, back to the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down.
3rd down, Wilson is sacked, brought down by Khalil Mack. 4th down, and the field goal unit comes on as Mack is now up to 6 sacks on the year.
Well, this is on Russell Wilson. You see Dulcich here. He comes and
Tranquil coming on a blitz, and this one's batted into the air, and it falls to the turf. Mack.
He certainly has been. This is D. Eskridge in the backfield. He fumbles, and it's recovered by Khalil Mack. They put Eskridge in the backfield for the first time today, and Eskridge couldn't handle the pitch, and a turnover.
Eskridge, watch. Let's check his eyes here. See if he took his eyes off it a little bit. Yep. See his helmet. You can see the back of his helmet. Ooh. In that recovery, I think Eskridge.
Yeah. Bonked heads with Khalil Mack.
Ouch.
2nd down and 2. Mariota complete. London. And then the ball's taken away. London had it stripped, and it's brought back across the 40, and finally taken down at the 50-yard line. What a play.
And Khalil Mack on the line of scrimmage. He's going to actually bust out. He's going to actually jam Drake London first, sits back in coverage, goes over there, and he says, the hell with this tackling stuff. I want the ball. I want the football. I'm a game changer.
Dicker, the kicker. Niners, 3rd drive. Turnover the last one. McCaffrey hit the backfield. Khalil Mack got the penetration. Uh-oh. Trouble here. Khalil Mack's got it, and he's got him, and he's down for a loss of 10. So Mack, not fooled at all, was waiting and comes up with sack number 7 on the season.
3rd down and 15. Willis, pass deflected and incomplete. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think things got real interesting in Philadelphia for Nick Sirianni as far as how's he going to handle Jalen Hurts and is he going to play?
Here is a sack by Khalil Mack. That'll be the 4th of the night for this Charger defense on 3rd down.
You're coming from somewhere else, you become the grumpy guy.
Wilson keeps it himself, trying to turn the corner, and he cannot. Khalil Mack makes the play, and a loss of 1.
Second half, he got it rolling, made some good throws.
And here he's in the grass on this first play here, and that's Khalil Mack. 9-yard sack. Now you got Van Noy coming in.
That offensive line has to get things going for the run game.
Fullback and tight end in, 2nd down 5, and here, stopped in his track, Khalil Mack gets Josh Jacobs. Brings him down in last year's rushing champion. Loses 2, and he's back to the 28. Look out for Mack! For this, Kobe Myers on the move. 2nd down and 6. Here comes Mack. Ball knocked away. That's a fumble. And it's recovered by Johnson. Another fumble by the rookie quarterback. And again, it's deep in Raider territory.
Well, and it's Khalil Mack on Colton Miller. The blind side of Aiden O'Connell. Mack just shoving Miller right into the back. Keep an eye up top.
Adams is out there, bottom of your screen, 1st and 10, O'Connell. Illuminor the block. Oh, Marcher, he fumbled again! He fumbled again! And who vacuumed it in?
It looks like it was Mack once again that caused this.
Aiden O'Connell. Here they come again. Mack's got him. A 4th sack. He is a one-man wrecking crew. Back to the 25. Losing 4. 4th down. And the punting unit goes out there for the Raiders.
Well, and once again, it's going to be Mack coming off the edge. This time it's Illuminor that he takes advantage of. He's played week 1, but hasn't played the last couple of weeks, Kevin.
Here they come again. He gets number 5. Number 5 for Khalil Mack. Another sack. He's tied his single game high as a Raider. In the backfield is 2nd and 25. O'Connell. Here comes Mack. Number 6. Number 6. Khalil Mack.
And it's a sack to start the night on a 3rd and 6. Getting home is Khalil Mack. What a run he's on.
To start a game in the NFL at quarterback since 1950. Trent Taylor took it. Khalil Mack, the ex-Bear, said no.
Wilson suffers the sack. Down he goes, and Khalil Mack was there for the Chargers. Wilson, the ball is knocked away. It's picked up by the Chargers. This is a live ball and returned by Gilman. There are flags down, and right now Gilman is to the pylon and in.
You see on the right side, Khalil Mack, he comes in, and the ball is out empty hand. It's definitely a fumble.
Illegal hands to the face. Offense number 54. That penalty decline. The result of the play is 1st down, Los Angeles.
So 1st down, they marked Gilman out inside the 2. And let's take a look at the end of the play. And a good job as the right foot slides out of bounds.
Here's 1st and 10. This time they are running right. And Khalil Mack is up to it. We've got another update. Had 3 timeouts in a tie game. Goff unloads it. Big tackle for a loss. Again, their field goal kickers only had 5 career attempts outside of 50, and they just got pushed back.
1st down from the 23. Play action.
Love with pressure in his face, dumps it off the fingertips of Aaron Jones. Oh, Jordan Love waited and waited and waited. 3rd and 15 now for the Packers. Bobble snap, trouble for Love. Got up and just tried to make something out of it after picking it up. But back to the 34-yard line, and 15 takeaways by that defense. On 1st down, Dillon buried in the backfield. A.J. Dillon, the lone running back standing. 3rd down and 6. Love backpedals and he's sacked. Khalil Mack with his 10th sack of the year, and that'll knock the Packers all the way out of field goal range.
If they want a chance at this thing, and that's asking a lot of these young guys.
2nd and 9. Love to throw. Mack providing the pressure. Ball is out. Loose on the turf. Bouncing around and covered up at the 15-yard line by Green Bay. It's scooped up by the right tackle, Zach Tom.
Well, Khalil Mack even got help on the right side. Coming all the way around the dish, number 52 in white.
Deep drop. Jackson pressured. Throws it out, incomplete. Isaiah Likely, the tight end, was there. But good push in the middle from Morgan Fox. Justice Hill, the running back. Lamar Jackson stepping up. Chased from behind. And he's brought down. Khalil Mack able to get another sack. Number 12 on the season. 3rd and 6 for Jackson. Stepping up, he's pressured here. Ball comes out. It is picked up by the Ravens at the 45-yard line. It was fumbled back at the 49-yard line, and inside 2 minutes, it comes back to that spot. Patrick Ricard in motion, leading the way, getting a block, but Keaton Mitchell can't get past the rest of that Chargers defense. It's Mack and Kendricks over there on the stop.
And really, winning those one-on-one battles, something that Parker really has been known for in his career.
Football is loose. It's recovered by Smith-Schuster. Oh, man. Johnny on the spot, and that play after the gasp is going to result in a Patriots 1st down.
Well, I think the ball, it just kind of slips out. Watch as he makes this little jump cut, and then the ball just kind of slips out of his hand. 12.
So Hollins making a play, gets his first career sack, and then Zappi here going down again. It's Mack. Talked about waiting for about 24 hours, didn't know what his future looked like, and Belichick finally brought him back. Zappi running for his life, and he's buried again. Mack just keeps on coming.
Within striking distance to make a push for the playoffs.
Wilson, and that pass is knocked down by Khalil Mack.
2nd and 1. Running back is White. 4.5 to go. Said they give it to Tucker. Loses one.
Relationship with Staley, Sebastian Joseph Day, who was with him when Staley was the coordinator for the Rams. He was cut earlier this week.
3 of 5 on 3rd downs. This is the longest opportunity of the day, though, as Pirine comes in motion. Stidham drops back to pass. Stidham bumps into his own man, and he's down. That'll go as a sack for Khalil Mack, which means he's over 100 for his career.
Ready. Wait, 26.
They'll hand it off to Williams. He'll get it started. He ran into his own man, and he lost 3 on the play.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets himself reset in the backfield. Gabbard on 3rd and 8. Buried. Khalil Mack. And his monstrous season continues. Archie has been the one constant, even with the added attention he's gotten since Joey Bosa went down in Week 11. His 17th sack in what's been a career year.
Yeah, he is.
Missed the Super Bowl, eventually signed with the Jets before he finds his way back to Kansas City midway through this season. Big play by Khalil Mack. As Michael Pirine goes backwards, it'll be 3rd and goal.
But really, that play was made by Samuel, giving him no space on the sideline.
Handoff here to Edwards-Helaire. Wrapped up. And Mack. That Gabbard pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. Khalil Mack.
We worry about it so we can get it in our graphics for the starting lineups. Well, these guys don't care. Here's a little flip at the last moment to Mayer. And look at the swarm around him. 2nd and 10. Got him this time. It's Mack. Mack, who had a feast in this building a year ago against Las Vegas with 6 sacks, has one here today. First down ball came out of his hand. That is a fumble, and it is scooped up. No, now it's picked up. Still on his feet is Mack, and Khalil Mack to the 11-yard line.
He was trying to throw the ball quickly.
Well, that might look like an incomplete pass right there on second look. I thought it was a fumble, but you get back into that tuck rule situation. The ball did go backwards. Look at the first attempt to scoop it up.
Well, this
Fulton, and then Mack.
Gardner thinks it's a smoke, which means you just throw it like it's a screen on the right, a quick screen to the left, and Adams runs like a 3-yard hitch.
1 minute 13, 1-1-3. Thank you.
And that would have been a score right there.
Well, 2nd and 6. Minshew. No chance. It's Mack. It's Mack with a little bit of help also. Ball deflected and intercepted. Picked off by Ford. Puna Ford off the deflection of Mack. Of course, Bosa has had his long history as well, battling injuries. From the 24, Fields in trouble and decked. Taken down by Khalil Mack.
This is how this defense works. They get the edge rushers. And they've got 2 great ones when Bosa's healthy on both sides, but Mack.
Warren is the running back. Again, more pressure coming in. They set up Warren. Oh, and he pays for it. Makes the catch. And Fulton has him for a loss.
Into LA territory. Here is Williams on the carry. And the ball comes out. Chargers saying they have it. And they do. Coming away with the football is Tier Tart. And the Broncos offense walks off the field, their 2nd turnover of the game.
Yeah, that's Tier Tart. Big man gritty. Yeah.
Early part of the season, 2nd and 8. Winston feeling the pressure, buried. Khalil Mack right on cue, coming in off the edge.
Boy, this happens so fast. The move that Khalil Mack puts on Conklin, coming from this right side, the up and the under.
Wills has been their usual starter at left tackle. They gave Jones the start, however, in this game. On a 3rd and 2, Chubb is gotten from the back.
3rd down to Samaje Perine, the running back. 3rd and 10, Mahomes nothing open, looking to take off, chased down, and they've got him. That rush inside, Khalil Mack was the one tracing his steps to come back and get him, and it will force a field goal attempt.
So it's a very direct pass rush, just one you don't always see.
Kelsey in motion. A lot of receivers to the right, everything's covered. Mahomes had to get rid of it, incomplete.
Pretty good job of taking that away. Looks like Derwin James is matched on Henry here.
Former teammates in LA, and how about this? A sack sandwich between Bosa and Mack. The 2 veterans combining and bringing up a 4th down.
Yeah, and Mack got there first, working against Badarian Lowe. You can't see Mack from this angle.
3rd and 7, under 2.5 minutes to go in the 3rd. May, a little bit of a wobbler. He was looking for Henry, and Henry's looking for a flag, but he won't get one.
The hit there by Gilman. Stroud under pressure, and Stroud is taken down. Khalil Mack The Mack attack, alive and well.
How about the game up front that they played to get Khalil Mack there?
On a broken play, C.J. Stroud, that seemed to trigger everything. Stroud tossed down by Mack.
But a good decision by Stroud. Did not try to make a hero play when that play had no opportunity. Khalil Mack, the wily veteran.